Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. And today we're having our usual Free Friday video. And today with us is AMIRA LOUTFI. Hi, AMIRA. Long time no see. Glad to have you back. Every week we read the top 10 free science fiction and fantasy books on Amazon. Or we read the first couple of chapters of them, see if we like the book, and we will tell you if we're going to keep reading the book or not and what the book was about. So I've got all the books from this week queued up. The link to the full article is below. And today I'm wearing my MetaStellar t-shirt. Look at that, see? And I've got the link to the exact one that I'm wearing below, as well as a similar one that you can get on Amazon. So please do that, support our channel. All the money raised goes to pay for original fiction on MetaStellar. We publish short stories that are science fiction, fantasy, and horror, and everybody can always read them for free. So, and we do pay the authors of the original fiction. Our next submission cycle starts March 1st and ends March 31st. So if you're a writer of speculative fiction, please put it on your calendar. And if you're a reader of speculative fiction, please support us by buying a t-shirt or by supporting us on Patreon. The link to that is below as well. And let us get started. So the first book, the #1 bestseller on today's free sci-fi and fantasy list is The Hunted by A.J. Scudiere. First of 5 books in the Black Carbon sci-fi dystopian thriller series. The other books are $5 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. The 5th book is scheduled to be released a year from now in January. So keep that in mind when you're reading this, that if you like it and you want to keep going, it's going to cost you money, and you're going to have to wait till next January for the conclusion. Alex KOROLOV, one of our contributors, read this, and he liked this book. He says it's got mythical beasts, horror stories, and heart-pounding life or death excitement. And the main character is the book starts out with him running from a pack of hellhounds, and she makes it to a house, but the dogs break in, and so she really likes it. He really likes it. He says it sounds like she's moments from being torn apart. He's at the edge of the seat and wants to know what happens to her. So he recommends this book. And I will not be reading it. I do not like horror books. I do not like, being worried about the main character being torn apart by hellhounds. So this is not the book for me. But from what I understand, lots of people do love that kind of thing. And this is the #1 bestseller today. And it's free. So if you don't like it, you're not out any money. Next is a book that also Alex looked at called Viking. And the first of 3 books in the Viking Ventures historical fantasy series. The other books are $3 to $4 each, and they're both in Kindle Unlimited. So if you like historical fiction, this is set in the year 800 something, and it's about Viking culture. So if you like that kind of thing, and a lot of people do, Vikings are hot right now, check it out. The Vikings are coming to this small town. They're looking for slaves. And Marcus and his younger sister crawl into a little cellar trying to hide from these raiders. And there's a bit of backstory. And then the villagers are fighting off these Viking raiders. Alex says he likes it and he's going to keep reading. So check that one out. And next is Maelstorm. I don't know how to pronounce this word. I've only seen it in print. I've never heard anybody actually say this out loud. AMIRA?
I think it's Maelstorm. Maelstorm? Okay, I don't know this word.
Have you heard anybody say it either?
I mean, I assume it's Maelstrom, but Maelstorm, I don't know. The way it's spelled is just like...
Yeah, Maelstorm. Yeah, anyway. So the first of 2 books in the Gideon Rain Young Adult Dystopian Future series. The other book is $4 and it's not in Kindle Unlimited. So I hate young adults. I hate dystopian futures. If you guys are regular readers or viewers of this program, you know this because I'm cranky and I don't have the patience for the teenage drama. and it already feels like we're living in a utopian future. So I'd rather, do something else, right? I don't want to like have more dystopian. So here's a close-up of the book for you guys. The book kind of reads a little bit like the Hunger Games or the Maze Runner. Gideon and his friend Jacob are out in the city and they're being attacked by flying, futuristic laser cops kind of thing. And the cops are going after some criminals, and there's some action sequences when the criminals get taken down, and it's all very exciting. And Gideon loves all that. He wants to become one of these futuristic cops. And he's an orphan. He and his Jacob are raised in a group home, and he's about to graduate and become an adult, and he wants to apply to this world's version of the police academy. The only problem is he occasionally faints, so they might not take him. So a little bit of pressure there on him. And so the other thing that's different about this world, other than the whole dystopian future thing, or maybe part of the reason why it's a dystopian future, is that everyone's on social media all the time posting updates. And if enough people like what you post, you get rewarded with like life essentials, like travel and housing permits, or the right to apply for jobs. So that sounds pretty dystopian to me. And the book moves well. It's fast paced. It's a little overwritten for my taste, because it's, young adult, and young adults are all full of drama. So I'm not the target reader. I'm not the target reader here, but it's definitely fun. If you are the target reader, check it out. It's free. And let's move on to the next book, which is one that AMIRA read, Crown of Shadows. Hold on, let me switch to that so you can see that. Okay, there it is. There's a close-up of it. So this book is the first of 3 books in the Court of Midnight and Deception urban fantasy series. The other books are between $1 and $4 each. They're both in Kindle Unlimited. And AMIRA, what did you think?
I think it's a really great example of the young adult urban fantasy action genre, if that's what you want, right? The narration is like in first person, and it's snarky and kind of funny, but it's just not really my thing. It's not really what I enjoy. I think that, Maria, you might actually really love this book.
I know, you were saying snarky and funny, and I was like, huh, yeah.
Yeah, and the action scenes are actually really good.
Oh, I love action scenes.
Yeah. So this girl, right? Her name is Layla. She just wants to be a normal young adult, and she can't because a couple of supernatural monster beings came to her home and chose her to be the next leader of their realm. And yeah, and she's like half Fae, and it's like the Fae realm. And so I do think the world building is good. Yeah, I think the world building is pretty cool so far. So I do think it's a good book, and I understand it's exciting. The action scenes are exciting. But I guess I'm just not really into a snarky first person narration. So yeah, other than that, I highly I do recommend it. I think, a lot of people would enjoy reading this.
All right, let's move on to the next book. Let's give you guys a close-up so you can see that. If I can figure out, we're filming on Zoom in case you guys don't know. So that's how we're doing all this. And let's see if I can switch to close-up view. There we go. Okay, 5th time is the charm. All right, so this is Tethered Worlds by Gregory Faccone, the first of 3 books in the Tethered Worlds sci-fi adventure series. The other 2 books are $3 each, and they're both in Kindle Unlimited. Oh, and this book might actually be called Unwelcome Star. This is one of those situations where the title is in smaller font size than the series title, I guess. So I should probably fix that in my review. Anyway, the promotional copy of this book compares it to Dune, And I'm a fan of Dune and similar books, the space operas, battles kind of thing. And apparently this book also has that combination of magical mysticism and futuristic sci-fi science, technology. So that's kind of cool. So my biggest complaint about the book, and it's really petty, is I don't like the font. It's a sans serif font, so there's no little dips on the bottom of the letters. It's just very blocky letters, and I couldn't switch it to a regular serif font. And that just annoyed me. But, you know, if you're not a fanatic of fonts, you probably won't even notice. Or if you do notice, you won't care. So there's a battle going on this planet. There's a civil unrest, and Jordak's father is wounded, and his parents were both served in the military, and their families involved in this conflict. This is a fast-paced chapter, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of political factions all being thrown at each other, and fighting and shooting and all this stuff. And I'm having a hard time figuring out who's doing what to who, but I like the way the story's told. And when I'm not in a rush to get all 10 books done and up online and record this video, I'm going to go back to this book and figure out what's happening, because I like it. I like the way it's written. I like the main characters, and it's the kind of thing I love. So yeah, everything from the cover to the main characters to the action, all except the font is a-okay in my book. All right, and let's go on to the next book in the series, which is The Green-Eyed Prince by Brittany Fichter, a standalone romantic fantasy, and it's a retelling of the classic fairy tale about the frog prince. So I'm not the target audience here. I don't like romantic fantasies, and I don't like retellings of fairy tales, but I like this one. It's an easy read. And the main character is 17, so you'd think I would hate that, but I like her. She's competent. Her parents died, and she's now the ruler of her fantasy kingdom, but she's got magical healing powers and uses them to heal people in her kingdom. And she's about to get married. So she's a little nervous about that, and a little nervous about the fact that all the local tribes are showing up at her palace, and she doesn't know, are they going to invade her? Are they going to take this place over? She has to negotiate with them, but she's kind, she's responsible, she's smart, she has advisors and listens to them, but doesn't let them boss her around. This is like really readable, nice book. So I might stick with it. I'm curious to see what happens to her and where the whole frog thing comes in. And it just seems like a nice little weekend break. And if I need a nice little break this weekend, and I very well might, this would be the kind of book I would spend it with. Next is a book that you read, AMIRA. And it's The Magic Eaters by Beth Anderson, a box set of all 4 books in the Magic Eaters trilogy, plus a prequel. So, AMIRA, what did you think of this book?
I like it. I like it a lot. The most interesting thing to me about it is the magic system, because some of the characters or the people in this world, right, they have magical abilities, and the only way that they can fuel up or like use their magic is if they eat an element that's related to their power. So the princess here, she has like a magical ice powers. She has to eat ice to be able to use it. And there's a guy who can fly, and he has to eat feathers to be able to fly. And there's another character who can like make plants grow, and she has to eat tree bark. So that is a new like for me, I don't think I've never like read a book with this type of magic system. So I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the character building in the beginning, in like the first chapter. I thought it was pretty cool. So immediately after I wrote the review, I went back and I just read a few more chapters. and it didn't continue as strong as the first chapter was, but still pretty good. So I'm probably going to come back and read a bit more.
I think Sanderson's Mistborn series has something similar, except it's all like metal elements that they're having to eat, like steel or copper or something. I forget totally the exact details, but each element is associated with a particular kind of power, like control of the air or something like that. And yeah, so Sanderson is like really good at magic systems. I think it's the Mistborn books that do this.
I think so too.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I guess after a while, all the magical systems have been done. And it's not quite the same. It sounds like there's some parallels, but a lot of differences too.
Yeah. All
right. Okay, and you get the whole complete box set. So you get to read the whole story, and it's free, and the book covers look awesome. Oh, and you also read the next book on the list, which was What to Expect When You're Expecting Something Different. Let me zoom in on this so that you can see it closer up, if I can figure out how to do that. Oh, come on, zoom. There we go. All right, so there's the book. So DNA is the series, I think. And the book title is What to Expect When You're Expecting Something Different. It's a standalone urban fantasy book. And it's really hard to read that title of the book. And DNA stands for Demons and Angels, I believe, right? Yeah. So AMIRA, what did you think of the book?
Well, all in all, I felt like it's really entertaining. I was actually really excited reading it. But it actually, even though like it seems kind of contradictory, because I felt excited reading it, but at the same time it moves really slow. So I was basically like skimming, right? And so I was able to enjoy it because I was skimming. If I really like read the whole like word for word, it would be too much. But basically it's about this woman, Evie. She has a great husband. They love each other. He had a vasectomy. She hates her in-laws. They also hate her. And then she starts getting these signs that she's pregnant, right? So basically we're just hanging out with her for like the next couple of days as she, comes to terms with the fact that she really might be pregnant. And then weird stuff starts happening. So she's out buying her pregnancy tests, and the cashier just starts acting like they're possessed, basically. So it's like, okay, maybe this is a demon baby. That's what I'm thinking.
Is it set in the present day? Is it like Rosemary's Baby kind of situation?
I'm not familiar with Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, it's a horror movie. I think somebody's giving birth to the demon's child or something. I have not seen that movie, and I will never see that movie, but I've seen the poster for that movie. But basically it's set in the present day. It's a horror story. Like, and this is the same thing. It's not like set in the future or in a fantasy world.
I mean, it's kind of cute. I wouldn't say it doesn't give off horror vibes. It's kind of more like supernatural. It's kind of cute. It's a little bit depressing how like her in-law, like she doesn't get along with her in-laws, but yeah, there we go. I'm not coming back, although I did enjoy it, but no, not coming back.
All right. Okay, so let's look at the next book that we have up, and it's called His Own Angel by Odette Bell, the first of 7 books in the His Own Angel urban fantasy series. The other books are $5 each, and they are not in Kindle Unlimited. So it's urban fantasy. Judging by the cover, it's a love triangle. So on the one hand, I love urban fantasy. On the other hand, love triangles, not so much. We'll see where it goes. So Lizzie is out of work and out of luck, because turns out that she's got some supernatural genetics. And 2 weeks earlier, because the supernatural has gone public, everybody's freaking out, And the government passed the law that if you have supernatural DNA, you're not allowed to have a human job. You can work for other supernaturals, but basically you have to stay in your little supernatural ghetto. So she loses her job as a librarian. She had no idea that she had supernatural DNA. She thought she was totally human. Unlike the werewolves, vampires, and witches, she has no weird powers, nothing. All she gets out of having this supernatural DNA is a tattoo the government puts on her after the mandatory DNA test, and she's being fired from a job. So this is kind of creeps me out a little bit. It strikes me a little bit too much like the Holocaust situation. And I don't think that's what the author intended, because I think it's written to be more like a light kind of fantasy, urban fantasy, and not like a political statement about discrimination. But moving on. So she's applying for a bunch of jobs, including a job as a magical PI, doesn't get any of them. And she's scraping the bottom of the barrel. She's gone into the other world parts of town where like nobody goes because they're too dangerous and creepy. And not even before magic was like known to be real, people tended to avoid these areas. So now she has to go in there and she's going to try to find a job like working in a bar or something. And she's a little scared of the whole thing. She doesn't know anything about the magical world. She didn't grow up in it like other magical people have. So it's all totally new to her. And it's just really unfair what happened to her. And I like her. And I think I'm going to keep reading this book. It's my kind of thing. And if the love triangle gets a little too annoying, I can always stop reading. And like I said, the book is free. And finally, the last book is Gallowglass, another urban fantasy book. This one by Jennifer Allis Provost, the first of 3 books in a Gallowglass urban fantasy series. And the other books are $4 each. They are not in Kindle Unlimited. So here, Karina is a university student who wrote her master's thesis on ley lines. She's a geologist, and I guess she's allowed to study that. And she's been invited to continue her doctoral work in Scotland, and she's got a grant that covers all her expenses and allows her to bring a friend with her. And I'm a little confused to what degree ley lines and alchemy and fairies and elves are real in this world. They're mentioned, but Karina's brother Chris doesn't believe in any of this stuff. So I don't know how public all of that is, but we'll find out. Chris is in the middle of a nasty breakup, so there's a lot of personal drama and family drama and relationship drama. And it got too dramatic for me. I don't have the patience to deal with all that stuff. And also she's a little young, and she's a university student. So I am not going to keep reading it. But yeah, check it out if that is the kind of thing you do like, because I know a lot of people love relationship drama and family drama and everything else. And the point of view does switch back and forth between Karina and her brother, which normally when there's a change in point of view, it's because those 2 people are going to get together eventually. But I think here it's just like 2 different main like protagonists. Or maybe I'm not getting the relationship correctly. Who knows?
Oh, what's a ley line?
Ley line? It's like an underground river of magic. So apparently you have these things crisscrossing the planet, and when they intersect, it's a whole like thing of like magical extra potency or something. So so when people study ley lines, they study the flow of travel, of magic traveling around the world, and there's where the energies are and stuff like that. So it comes up in some ancient mystical traditions, and kind of like the key lines that go through the human body where you like do energy work and you wave your hands over somebody and, I don't know, align their chakras or something. It's like that, but for the whole planet. A lot of urban fantasy books talk about them, and epic fantasy as well. And I might be mispronouncing it. It looks like L-E-Y, ley lines or ley lines. Again, I've never actually heard it said out loud. All right, so there we go. If you like any of these books or don't like them or plan on reading them, let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more. We also have a newsletter that goes out every Friday with all the stories that we do, plus all the original fiction we've published that week. And that's also a free subscription. So if you go to our website, MetaStellar.com, sign up and check it out. And all of this is supported through the kind generosity of our Patreon team. And here they are. Thanks, guys. And Max Molax just joined us last week, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, and we'll be back again next week. So AMIRA, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.